I am honored to invite Mr. Teo Eng Dee, Chief Executive, Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, on stage to deliver the opening remarks. Mr. Teo, please.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning and welcome to Day 4 of the Singapore Maritime Week. I'm very delighted to join all of you today at the 3rd Maritime Services Leaders Forum. This year, we welcome over 200 friends from around the world. Since its inaugural run in 2022, the forum has served as a useful platform to exchange insights on the latest developments in maritime services. We hope that this year's forum will be just as insightful as we deep dive into 3 questions. First, amidst the continuing evolving shipping landscape, what type of risks should ship owners and operators hedge against? Secondly, how can maritime service providers help manage these risks while supporting the industry on the digital and green transformation? And third, what are the opportunities that maritime services can seize, particularly in the Singapore maritime ecosystem? And as a global business hub, maritime is particularly sensitive to many of these geopolitical developments. The recent attacks on vessels in the Red Sea have impacted shipping routes and the sea trade. From marine insurers who need to reevaluate their risk profiles, to maritime lawyers who must grapple with the contractual implications for your clients. Since 2015, Singapore has been expanding our war risk mutual offerings through the setup of the Singapore War Risk Mutual, which offers cover for ship owners connected with Singapore. Against the backdrop of more complex geopolitics today, the SWRM continues to cover ship owners and operators operating in the Red Sea region. Such protection ensures that essential food, energy, and medical supplies continue to be transported even in times of crisis. We thank the Singapore Shipping Association and all our lawyers for supporting these efforts. We invite more collaboration with the insurance and reinsurance industry in Singapore to provide a strong safety net for vessels in times of crisis or war and enable supply chains to remain resilient. As such, as we increasingly have cyber risks becoming more prominent as ship and shore-based digital systems become more widely adopted and interconnected, we must continue to build a concerted front versus these efforts. Last year, I spoke about MPA's Maritime Cyber Insurance and Operations Center, which brings together the shipping community, our agencies, and research institutes to guard against cyber threats. The MCAOC of MKO will provide real-time monitoring, dissemination of information on threats and systems recovery, and identify vulnerabilities to strengthen incident prevention. I'm pleased to share that earlier this week, we validated the Phase 1 capabilities of the MKO via tabletop exercises involving partners from international and local ports. MPA will continue to help meet these opportunities and threats in cyberspace by growing MKO to provide a wider suite of services to vessels calling at Singapore, including cyber health checks and software upgrading to fix vulnerabilities. We are also exploring how MKO could complement the development of new marine cyber insurance and cyber mutual products. The Maritime Services Cluster also plays a very instrumental role in enabling the green and digital transformation of shipping. Extreme weather events have become more common, and even our children are asking about what we can do to provide a better future for all of them. The availability of insurance and financing thus play a very key role to encourage the adoption of sustainable solutions so that emissions can be reduced for the maritime sector in the domestic hovercraft, port ecosystem, and international shipping segments. For the international shipping segment, there's considerable traction in alternative fuel vessels, and of these vessels that are being ordered globally, close to 50% of tonnage are now alternative fuel capable. For the Port of Singapore, we are building up the necessary infrastructure for the electrification of hovercraft, and we will progressively roll out charging infrastructure for electric craft operations in Singapore. It is therefore opportune for our financiers and insurers to step forward to support these new vessels or charging infrastructure. And we will need to invest in training for our maritime services professionals as well to have the necessary capabilities and expertise to help drive the green transition. For the domestic hovercraft segment, MPA has launched an expression of interest last October seeking financing and insurance solutions to help early movers overcome the upfront cost of adopting electric hovercraft. I'm very happy to share that we have received close to 20 proposals from both local and international participants. DBS Bank, UOB, BNP, KfW, Bank Asia, and SocGen have submitted EOI proposals to MPA to offer direct debt financing options for hovercraft owners. MPA will also issue a closed call for proposals to further select alternative financing proposals for implementation. We will provide more details on the next step in this quarter. MPA will also be working with Enterprise Singapore to explore onboarding of interested financial institutions onto the Enterprise Financing Scheme Green, or EFS Green in short, to support Singapore enterprises embarking on and accelerating their green and sustainability journey. Enterprise Singapore has extended EFS Green scheme until March 2026 with the support of MPA. These schemes aims to provide 70% risk share to support lending by participating financial institutions. This will potentially open up more financing options for hovercraft owners embarking on electrification. On insurance, based on the submissions that we have received so far, we found that the premium rates proposed for electric hovercraft are comparable to that of conventional hovercraft. MPA will work with the industry to develop mechanisms to facilitate the right pricing of premiums, and to support this, we will look at setting up a data repository platform for insurers to exchange telemetry data and information, develop training programs to promote safety and awareness, as well as quality assurance frameworks. We intend to bring together participants of the finance and insurance EOI and the design EOI to achieve a more holistic understanding of the technical risks, as well as the upfront and recurring costs. This EOI on insurance and financing is part of a series of initiatives to support the decarbonization of our domestic hovercraft sector. We will pilot vessel charging concepts, including developing a technical reference for electric hovercraft charging and battery system, as well as developing reference designs for passenger launch and cargo lighter vessels. And much has been done as well on the digital front to support maritime digitalization. Last November, MPA implemented digital bunkering to allow bunker suppliers and receiving vessels to transmit the bunker sales data seamlessly, improving not only the productivity, but also creating greater transparency in making transaction paperless. The services sector thus have a key role to play in facilitating this transition. Our financiers and insurers support investment and cyber risk management, while the legal sector establishes clear frameworks for collaboration. And as our maritime sector transforms, the maritime services cluster can also involve your understanding of what is required. This includes examining the implications of emerging issues and new developments, such as the adoption of alternative fuels on legal clauses and obligations in shipping forms and contracts. MPA has given the Singapore Chamber of Maritime Arbitration our full support to set up working groups with BIMCO and many others to examine contractual implications that may arise from these trends and develop new provisions to address any gaps. As the shipping industry transforms, Maritime Singapore is thus well poised to provide our vibrant ecosystem and grow it further. With over 180 international shipping groups based here, our maritime services companies can reach out to their clients fairly easily, and there's also a well-established ecosystem comprising over 30 leading international shipbroking firms, some 30 law firms with maritime practice, and 20 financial institutions with shipping portfolios. 10 P&I clubs operate here, and we are also home to the Lloyd's Asia platform. Our maritime ecosystem, therefore, has plenty of potential to further grow your service offerings. The suite of shipbrokering services offered out of Singapore is expanding, with leading brokers such as SSY, Fernless, Bramier expanding into financial advisory services to better serve their regional and global clients. Singapore also continues to be the focal point where industry can connect, share ideas, and drive progress. Next year, Singapore will host the International Union of Marine Insurance Annual Conference, a key platform for global marine insurers to deliberate on the future of maritime insurance. We've also received a vote of confidence as a key maritime arbitration hub, having won the bid to host the International Congress of Maritime Arbitrators in 2026. This is a major event for all our maritime arbitrators, which will be returning to Singapore for the first time since 2007. Last but not least, talent is the fuel that can propel our maritime services forward, and I'm pleased to share that SCMA has been appointed as the Secretariat for the International Maritime Law Arbitration Moot, a major competition for law students globally. This will help grow the maritime legal and arbitration segments and draw in new pool of professionals and young talent. We hear the need to reach out to more talents in all segments of shipping, and we are glad that all these efforts will contribute to the growing of our maritime services sector. Ladies and gentlemen, as the maritime landscape continues to evolve, so do the needs of companies across the value chain. Let us continue to work closely together to grow the maritime services cluster as we collaborate towards a smarter and more sustainable future of shipping. I wish everyone a very fruitful conference, and for those who have been to Singapore or have come here for the first time, welcome to Singapore and enjoy the sights and sound and food of Singapore for the remaining week during this Maritime Week discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Teo.